Yo, what's up? How y'all doing today? Back again another video. Check this out, man. A lot of men are starting to become like women. And I'm saying this in a perspective on where society is going, especially in America. And a lot of, well, not a lot, but, well, actually, yeah, a lot of men are just um, choosing to not really take care of their responsibilities, like when they first get with their first baby mama and stuff. I see some guys are just not really staying with their baby mama. They actually going off to, create more broken homes and stuff. And I'm not saying that only men are responsible for creating broken homes. No, the women too, because the two got together and they formed a baby and they decided not to wear protection, and therefore there's consequences that comes with that. And I think that people are just starting not to care about the consequences of having unprotected intimacy, unprotected sex. A lot of men, that's a lot of boys are growing up becoming like, you know becoming more feminine, like become more like females, because they don't have that good structure, that good discipline, that masculinity to help drive them and become more of a man and stuff. And I think a lot of women love that. I think a lot of women love that, especially in the churches. And when they preach in the churches, they really preaching the feminine side of Jesus. They're not preaching the masculine side of him, where Jesus went and corrected people. He went and corrected them. He went in and chastised people for doing wrong things. And we're not really, preaching that. They're not really preaching that in the churches and stuff. They just telling them, oh, hey, you should just, be silent. You should just, men need to do better and stuff. Like, they say all this toxic stuff, all this crazy stuff in the church. And they also talking about, oh, you can find the love of your life in the church. And know that all of that is just a bunch of BS. Because they understand that what's really going on in the world. They just don't, like, in regards to like relationships and everything. Like, I think a lot of them just don't care, because they want to keep people attending the churches and stuff, just to keep giving them, something that they want to hear. And they are afraid to give them something that they need to hear. And it's really sad, where, they teaching boys to become more like women, and having that women's side of them. And we're not really teaching our boys, hey, you should be the leader of the household. You should go out and take care of yourself. Make sure you, take care of your mental health, your physical self, and be that leader, leading your family. It should be God over men, men over women, women over children. It should always been like that. But now it's like they putting God over women and the woman over the man, and that is demonic. That is top tier demonic. I don't care what anybody got to say in the comments section. That is top tier demonic. How did we even get to this point in society? How did we even get to this point in society where now we're no longer training boys to become men? We're training them, we're raising them to become more and more like females. It just doesn't make any sense. See, this is why I just stay in my lane and just try to focus on my relationship with God, because there's so much you can really do in this world, and especially in America, if you're living in America, to really help shed some light on this darkness that we got. And it's just really embarrassing. And people should be wanting to do better, man, for the community, better for the kids. But, people just don't really care. People don't want to do better for the community. They don't want to do better for the kids. They don't want to have that accountability. And that's what we're lacking in our communities, accountability. We're lacking it so bad. We need to bring accountability back. We need to bring it back. It's just, man, we just got to get back to where things used to be, man. And, unfortunately, in the future, it's going to get worse. But, that's why I just stay with God and have my head in the Bible and just, continue to just, do what I got to do on my part in teaching the men to become more, become more like actual freaking men, bro. Just don't try to listen to all this foolish stuff that's going on. And, they're not trying to teach men to, be in charge of the household and stuff. And, they're not really teaching them that. They just, it's all messed up. I'm just going to say it's all messed up. But listen, man, I hope y'all like my video. Hit that like and subscribe button. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace.